Hello, everybody. Welcome to the very first vlog of the season. It is freaking hot. It's supposed to be like 102 today. Probably shouldn't be going out, but I have been really wanting to go check out a few stores. So we're gonna go Halloween decor hunting today. I have been hearing and seeing, just not in my area, of Michael's being fully stocked in some places, and some of the videos I have seen, I'm like, Michael's might as well just take all my money. I saw some really good stuff and some videos that I really want to get my hands on. I bought some of these little coffin, like succulent planters, and At Home always comes out with like their black succulents and stuff, so I have to wait till that comes out to get some of those. But I want to see if I can get my hands on any of the Limac stuff, like some like mini tombstones or some pumpkins, some just Limac decor that I think would go really good in those planters. They're like super small, so I actually thought that they were going to be bigger than they are. So I want to see if I can get some of those, but I saw some homeware I want to get my hands on. I saw this really, really beautiful, bedazzled, almost kind of like a disco ball type thing, but black, and it's a coffin, and it's covered, and it's just, I want my hands on it. So we're going to see if we can find that. And then there was also a piece I didn't get last year that I'm kind of hoping that they come out with again this year so I can get my hands on it. It's just this angel covered with a veil sitting on top of a head of a casket, and it's white, and it was very beautiful, and I want to see if I can get my hands on that this year. And we're going to also cruise over to Home Goods. I've heard and seen some people get a few things from there that I would really, really love. So just checking those out. Walmart is supposed to come out with a whole Summerween line, and of course I have gone to mine 2 or 3 times in the last couple weeks, and I haven't seen it come out yet. My friend, she lives in Idaho, in her location they had it out. I'm like, what the hell? But mine does not. So I have to do a grocery pickup tomorrow, so I might run in there really quickly, and because it's been several days, we were out of town for like 2 or so days, and I haven't been back there in like a week. So it's given them plenty of time. I think the last day we went in there was the day after 4th of July. So it's given them plenty of time to possibly get some of that out. So we might go in there tomorrow too. And I also need to go over to Fred Meyer to get a few grocery items. My mom actually went to Fred Meyer today in Idaho, and she saw some Halloween type stuff. So I'm like, oh great, I gotta make my way over to Fred Meyer and see what they have for their stuff right now. Obviously, I know a lot of stores aren't going to have a lot, but that's the fun in hunting, is seeing what some of these stores are coming out with. And then obviously, as we get closer and closer to the season and more stuff starts coming out, then we go. So we're going to be going to several of these stores, obviously. But we got to do it. It's spooky season. Officially, it's always spooky season for me, but it's official for all of us ghouls out there. Spooky season. We got to see what some of the places are coming out with. So anyway, I am on my way to Michael's. We're going to go there first, and then we'll go to Home Goods. So anyway, I will see you at Michael's. Righty, finally a store that was not a bust. Michael's does not have all of their stuff out, but they did have some stuff. Can I take a drink? They had their little Limax area set up. They had some really, really cool things this year. They actually had one that had water in it too, which was super, super cool. Remember, they had a Ferris wheel that was made of jack-o'-lanterns, which was really, really cool. They had this little area for witches that were on their brooms, flying around, which I thought was super cute. They had this really, really pretty pumpkin lantern. I just don't know where I would plug it in or display it. I was trying to think if it would work in my little planters, and I don't think it would, but it was super, super, super pretty. It had something that had to do with like aliens and stuff, which I thought was kind of cool. They had a school that was like hocus pocus and stuff. They had the little funeral home, which actually had a thing that said used caskets on it, which I thought was funny. They had some vampire hunters trying to hunt a vampire. They had a little area where they were doing like the waltz and stuff. Let's see what else they have in this area. They also had like the Count's Candy Corn Factory, which I thought my husband was calling. It's like we need a non-soliciting thing at our front door because we get service people there all the time, and he was wondering who does all of our bug and stuff. Anyway, so it was the Count's Candy Corn Factory, which I thought was kind of cool. They had a book place that does like book like binding and stuff like that, which I thought was really cool. A castle, like a big castle that was surrounded by a moat and everything. They had the king. And then they actually had like one of those I don't know what they're called, but like a little light up tree that's kind of like a Christmas tree. And then a cabinets and oddities place. So they had some really good stuff in this area. And then of course they had the little stuff to add as decoration. So I looked there to see if I could find anything for my little planter things. And then we went to the other side. They only had like two full-ish aisles of stuff out. So on this side they had all their pillows, and I wish the one that I saw it was black and white and it had bats on it, but they only had one. So I'm gonna keep my eyes out for that. If I find two of them, I'm gonna snag those. I don't need any more blankets, but I'm going back and forth. I'm like, man, I should have grabbed it. They had a black and white blanket that had bats on it. I'm like, oh, this is so cute. And then they had all kinds of different pillows in this area. They had, you know, those long skeletons. They actually had one of a female. She had her little bow and necklace. She had her nails done. I thought it was cute. They had a ghost and a skeleton and a dog, all with the sheet on, and the ghost had a little bow. I'm like, oh, that would be so cute in Claudia's room. And then the skeleton had a bow tie, and the little dog was holding a bag in its mouth. They had a cat. They had one that said in my spooky era. They had some really good stuff over here. And then you go to the other. Wow, that's cool. I love the water. You go to the other side, which is all the pinks and the disco-y ball-like things, which, don't get me wrong, some of the stuff was really cute. But it's just not me. It's more for like little kid stuff. But they had some cute stuff. They had the little countdown to Halloween. They had a bunch of different sizes and different types of ghosts. They had ghosts that were all glittery. They had the disco ball type ghosts. They had big, like, full ones that were in this area that came, I think, with a skeleton and a bunch of other disco ball type things. They had some homeware that was shaped like a coffin, which I've had my eye on. And they had some little plates and stuff that I thought would work because Little Miss has broken a few of my pot holder things. Or my spoon holder things. I'm going to turn the car back on. I had to turn it off because it was overheating and we're idling. We're going to actually head over to Home Goods here shortly. Things that's like, it's the most wonderful time of year, and oh my gourd. What else did they have? They had those like they had a witch, I think they had a cat, and then they had a ghost with those dangly legs that sit on the edge of like the counter or shelf that I thought was super, super cute. They have these cute little super small cups, so basically for like a shot. Then they had ornaments, they had some ribbon. A few in-your-face things. They had one that had green that had a witch in it, and then they had another one that had a ghost in it, which the ghost one would have been perfect for my kitchen last year because it was orange. Those were the only two I saw. They may have had a pumpkin one, but I think those were the only two I saw. Then they had a cat bookshelf that I thought, well, it's not a bookshelf, but a shelf shaped like a cat that I thought was super cute. They had a really big plate that had a cobweb on it. super pink area that's like goth, or you goth this, and a bunch of other things. So whatever else I can't think of at the moment, I'll place here in the video. But anyway, it's really hot. My car is kind of like, why are we idling? So let's head on over to Home Goods. Alrighty, all done with Home Goods. They had some great stuff. I will have to share with you guys later everything that I saw, just because a lot of it is jumbled together because there was lots of people. It's really hot, so let's see if I can find a shaded area to kind of tell you some of the stuff that I found before we head to Fred Meyer. Shaded spot. So right when you walk in, they have the little display section right by the register. They had a mummy guy that was super cute. They had a Frankenstein psychobilly type head. They had some haunted houses, Velt skeletons, some dolls which were really cute. To the next section, which I absolutely thought was really cool. So they had their little gardeny, mossy section that had this, if you've ever seen like those very detailed carved out pumpkins, they had several of those that had different faces, which was super cool. They had a little mossy type haunted house, which is like, oh, I wonder if that, now that I'm thinking of it, it may have been like a cute thing out in my yard. The next time we go, if they still have it, we might have to check it out. But they had that. And then on the other side, they had some like skeleton hands that were candle holders, which I thought was really cute. And then you move on to the kitchen side, and they're kind of known for like their vintagey type stuff, which I really love. But the tableware that they had this year, super vintage and super cute. If I did like parties or needed a reason for any of these, or even another cup, because I don't need any more cups, they had some really nice cups that I really would like to get my hands on, and maybe we'll get one because why not?
Good afternoon, Home Goods shoppers. Are you an avid treasure hunter of our TGX stores? Are you?
It makes me think of oh my god.
Had some baskets that had different faces. They had pumpkins, witch's hat, skeleton. They had a Frankenstein one, which I thought was really cute. They're like those like woven baskets. It's like, you know, one of these would almost work for like candy, you know, like a trick-or-treat bag thing. I think was super cute. like black and white tableware, which I thought was cute, with like the little saucer and the cups, and then just like coffee cups, which is like, those are so cute. And they had plenty of ghost stuff. I'm like, I really needed a lot of this stuff last year. But they had pink ones, and then they also had some white ones, which I'm not into the pink ones, but anyone who likes pink or is into that thing for Halloween, they have stuff for you.
I know this song. I mean, it's is this one he sings in the graveyard? Right? Yeah. But it doesn't.
It's also a fruit basket that was woven to look like cobwebs. So I was like, oh, I don't need this, but I need it. But I don't need it. Because I already have the 2 fruit things, but it's like, this would replace those. Which I thought was kind of cool. It's pretty decent, and it's 2-layer, which was nice too. And then you go to the other side that has their like big heads and skulls and dolls and witches, big giant skeleton, probably their version of the 12-foot skeleton that was in there. I wasn't able to get it, but they also had something that was near the 12-foot skeleton that was supposed to mimic like cemetery gates, but there was just too many people, and I was trying not to be rude and get anyone's way. I knew I shouldn't have grabbed a cart. Usually they have small ones, but they didn't have any small carts, and so I didn't need a big cart, because I actually didn't buy a whole lot this time. I did get a few things, but not a lot. Not enough to need a cart. And so I was trying not to get in anyone's way. But then you go to the other area, they had ghosts. They had a ghost riding a bicycle, which I'm like, that is cool. And they had stacked ones, they had foam ones, and then you go to the other section where they had some pastel-y type ones also, which I thought was really cool. So they had their section of like vintage actual Halloween, and then they give you the option to choose pastels if you want. And then you go down it's kind of a cluster right now actually. When you go further into the store, like they have a section where they've just kind of thrown everything in there until they can spread it out. So you have all your vintage dolls and everything, and they had one of those carved out pumpkins that had a sucker, and he had braces, which I thought was kind of cool.
Just take our survey and enter this month's drawing. Let us know what you think about your shopping experience. It only takes a few minutes, and then you've got a chance to win a $500 home goods gift card. Check out the site. That's unique right there. That's a unique piece.
That is
But you can come to with the other cakes.
And then you go to more for the kitchen. If you've seen the marble coffin that has bats on it, that was super, super cute. But I have no use for it, so I didn't get that. But they had some good stuff. They didn't have any sheets or really any bath stuff out yet. They have plenty of blankets and pillows if you need blankets and pillows. And then you go towards the front of the store and they have some more modern, like they had a witch that had cute pink and gray hair. And they also had Bride of Frankenstein bust as well. But that is basically everything I saw there this time. There's plenty of mugs. You go through, you have Snoopy, so you have Charlie Brown. There was some Stitch, Hello Kitty. I think there was some Winnie the Pooh stuff in there, and they also had some candles. But that's everything that we saw at Home Goods this time. Still not a lot, still early in the season. Of course, there was somebody in there, it's only July, what the hell? It's like, it's that time. They also had some Summerween stuff. They had a spooky summer pillow, which I thought was super cute. They had a skull that had a lemon rind on it. So they had some cute stuff. So stay tuned for more Halloween decor hunting. Which store should we go to next? We're going to continue this vlog just to do the 2 stores. So the next time you see me, we'll do a different store and we'll kind of combine these. There's a few other stores I would like to go check out. Maybe we'll go to At Home tomorrow and see if they have any stuff out yet. Alrighty. So I pretty much figured Fred Meyer's probably going to be like Target, and they don't get things out until like after school starts because they have their whole back to school section, because that will be very soon. That's like the end of August, end of August typically. So we probably won't go back to them until school starts. But I had to get a few grocery items anyway, so we decided to go check them out. But I think tomorrow we'll do at home, because for me, weekends are what work best unless I'm in the office, and I won't be back in the office until August. So I think maybe tomorrow we'll go check out at home, see what they have, and then maybe we'll check out TJ Maxx too, see if they have started to put out anything. Anyway, till next time. Hola! Another day. Another hot day. Ooh, gross. It says it is 99 degrees. It's supposed to get to 106 today. Why are we outside? I don't know. But happy Sunday. We were smart. We wore a tank top today. Made sure to bring my own drink. Got our flavored water here. And you know, even though it's hot as balls outside, us ghouls who are on the hunt have to just deal with the heat. Right? Kind of just cleaned up myself a little bit, and we're gonna go to a couple places that we didn't go yesterday, see if we can find any goods. We're gonna check out at home. Oh, the seat's hot. And then we're gonna go to TJ Maxx on the way home, because we're literally driving by it just to see, because you know TJ Maxx is kind of like Home Goods, so I'm assuming that they may have some stuff out too. At home, they hopefully have some stuff out. Last year they kind of took forever, so fingers crossed. We'll see what we can find. And then next weekend, I'm trying to think, because there's not a whole lot of stores in my area, because unfortunately Joann's is closed. R.I.P. Joann's. You had some great stuff last year. I think most of my like kitchenware stuff I got from there last year. So I'm very upset and sad that they closed, because they had some good stuff. So yeah, we have Michael's, Home Goods, TJ Maxx. There is Ross, but I don't really care for Ross that much, especially here. It's kind of a cluster. We have Target and Fred Meyer, which both of them will more likely start putting stuff out once back to school happens. Same thing with Walmart, except for their Summerween stuff, and I didn't do grocery pickup. So once I do my grocery pickup, which I need to set it up for tomorrow, we will probably go in there and check out to see if they got any of their Summerween stuff. Because I have major FOMO going on right now. I want the carved jack-o'-lantern watermelon. And I know I've seen two sizes. They have the bigger one and they have the smaller one. I would like to get my hands on both of them. Get a small one and a medium one. And they just have some good stuff. And I haven't seen it at mine. And so it's been several days since I've gone. They've been able to clear out 4th of July and some of their summer stuff, because I think the last time I was in there, they were clearing out some of their summer and 4th of July, and I think that they were about to start doing their back to school stuff, because Target was doing their back to school stuff either Tuesday when I went. I think I went on Tuesday or Wednesday. I went on one of those days, and they were doing their back to school. And Fred Meyer yesterday, they were putting up their back to school also. So we'll have to go check out Walmart. But yeah, we don't have a whole lot of places that are going to have much Halloween right now. Might have to check out Cracker Barrel. I checked out some stuff online, and I actually found a few things that I think I might want to get my hands on. then there's a few things I need to look on Amazon, because Michael's, they have the like the Halloween filler stuff, but I don't need the big thing because I only have 2 small planters. I mean, I guess it would give me an idea to get another planter, like a cauldron from that line if I have to. So we'll kind of see if I can find anything online, like Amazon, that is smaller with the black rocks and stuff, because I think the black rocks and stuff would be super cute. But anyway, I will see you guys when we get to at home. Alrighty, just finished at home. Found some goodies. At the moment, we'll have to see if we can go find parking, because it's too hot to let the car idle in the sun. So I'll do my best as I can, but I might have to go over some of the things that we saw at the next location that we go to so that we can park in the shade a little bit. But the moment that you walk in, you see all the different skulls and basically a lot of the same stuff that they get every single year. They had this really, really pretty, I'm not sure if it was like a succulent shelf or if you could use it as something else, but it was shaped like a coffin and it was see-through. That was really pretty. You had a skeleton man and wife, the light up melting candles. There was a bleeding pumpkin. Well, it was a black pumpkin that had red dripping down it, so a bleeding pumpkin. There was a vampire type skull that was on top of some books. He also lit up, but he needed batteries, so you couldn't see the eyes light up, and it had a crow on top of it. And then you go to the next section that had this really, really pretty house, like haunted house. And then when I went on the other side, didn't realize it was a shelf. So when you flip it on the back, so you can put lights and stuff in it if you wanted to put it up so where it could light up, which I thought was really, really cool. There was a skull with flowers in it that was really, really pretty. And then if you've ever seen the bigger ones, I haven't seen them, and to be honest, if I see it, I don't know if I'll get it because I have no idea where I'm going to put it. But they had their vulture holding, and this one didn't light up, but once I went to the other side, it lit up. But it was holding a lantern, and that lit up. And then they had some bigger crows and bigger skeleton heads and everything. And then when you went to the other side, I saw the vulture light up, which was really, really cool. And then you had like a skeleton hand holding another lantern that lit up. That one was really bright versus the vulture one that was like a yellow light. That's more of your creepy type Halloween. Have some succulent planters too, so I grabbed one because the succulents I have are small, so I can tear this thing apart, and I mean I get another planter, which is nice, or another pot I should say, but I'm gonna tear it apart, and with how much it costs, like I can tear this apart, no problem. I just have to get filler in order to do that. But I saw some little succulent planters. There was 2 different ones. There was one that was more full and had several different succulents in it versus the other one that just had one that was kind of droopy. So it didn't even look at that one. So at least we finally found a little succulent planter for our coffins, so that's exciting. They had their wraiths also that light up. They needed batteries so you couldn't see it. They had black and white. There's some stacked skulls with crows on them, some some cemetery type tombstone gargoyles. There was actually a gargoyle mirror that I thought was kind of cool. Then they had like their plaster tombstones that they had, which I think I bought one last year. And then they had this really pretty rotting angel head that kind of had a veil on it, that her mouth was kind of rotting off on the side, which I thought was kind of very, very large skull whose eye, or like, it's almost like the 12-foot skeleton, but this one seemed a lot taller than 12 feet, but maybe it's because it was on a shelf type thing, that his eyes lit up. And then they had a whole bunch of pillows. They had like regular size pillows, and then they had body pillows, which is like, oh, that would be kind of nice in our room. So maybe next time I'll kind of get an idea of what I'm doing for my room, and maybe I'll get one of those. And then they had these big ones. They had a skeleton one, and then they had a cat, which I thought was super cute. And then they had little kid blankets and stuff, which I thought was kind of cute. I think there was a witch and a pumpkin, if I'm not mistaken. And then they also had the bigger skulls where their eyes lit up. And then they had a skull made of skull heads, which I thought was kind of cool. And then on the other side, they had the skeletons that were holding the coffin, which is perfect for if you're having a party, so you can put like your drinks and stuff in there, which I thought. And then on the other side, they had all sorts of different sizes of skeletons that you could have, like super big ones to medium size to super small, depending on what you wanted, and animals that were bones and stuff like that. And they had several different outdoor signs and stuff. There was this really pretty one that was of witches, and it's like, I've always wanted something like that in my yard. And you would have to put like a light on it or somehow to make it light up nicely. So I might have to get some ideas for that. And then they had another sign that said like happy spooky home or something like that, which I thought was really nice, and stacked pumpkins. Let's see, what else did they have in this area?
And then you get something like these, just sit in the middle of it. Maybe something like this, like a little toasty house thing, lights up.
They also had some cute little ghost haunted houses, like you can find in a tree. And then they had their tableware stuff. I found something for Halloween. It was a little ghost, like plate type thing. I actually did put it in my cart, but by the time I got to the register, I noticed that there was a little chip on the side of it. So I went to get another one, and there was 3 more, and they all, and I highly doubt that this would, I think it was how they were in the box, because every single chip was in the same area, but it was cute. This little ghost with heart eyes. I'm like, that's perfect for Halloween. But so hopefully they'll get some more that don't have the chip that I can get my hands on, because like I don't want something that's broken. I just don't. So I didn't get that. It was in my cart, but I didn't get it. And then they had some other things that would work for Halloween if you're into pink, or if you're into pink in general. They had some pink cobweb table liners, and then they had a table runner, and then table mat or placemats. But then they had several different type of table runners. They had some pumpkin ones and some cobweb ones and stuff that I thought was really pretty. And they had a big giant cauldron. And then the further you got down, they had some zombie heads, some pumpkins, some ornaments. They had the cobwebs and stuff, which I found one that I thought would work for our outside, but it says to not get it wet. So I was like, all right, maybe we won't get that, you know. They had some more signs and a wreath and other things that had to do with Halloween and witches and hocus pocus and all that fun stuff. And then we got towards the front of the store, and they had more of their light up inflatable stuff, and they had some really good stuff. And the one that I saw that I thought was hilarious, it was a jack-o'-lantern that had a spider on it that made the face of what I would make if I saw a spider on me. Just saying. large and a small ghost. I'd say a large and a medium-sized ghost that lights up, and then they had a giant skull. So, and then they also had some cups up at the front that were kind of like that blown glass look that had some different things on each one. One said boo. I think there was one that had pumpkins on it, spiders, skulls, and Frankenstein. And then there was some other stuff towards the front that had more candles and stuff in it. I didn't get any of that because it was actually in a cart. So I wasn't able to capture any of that. But I'm excited. They're obviously going to get more. But now we're on our way to TJ Maxx. Alright, just finished at TJ Maxx. They didn't have a whole lot of stuff. I saw some really cute salt and pepper shakers. They had ghost ones. They had Jack and Oogie Boogie. I think there were some pumpkin ones too. Down another aisle where they had some pastel jack-o'-lanterns and some ghosts, and then they had this really cute iridescent ghost that had a bow on her. The area where they have all, I think right now most of the things we're gonna see is pastel pinks and girly type stuff, because when I went down one of the aisles they had plenty of ghosts, one that was holding an espresso martini and one that was holding a coffee cup that said freshly brewed, and then they had one that was for country that said howdy, I'm not sure exactly, it said howdy something, and then if the broom fits, write it, happy Halloween. They had some really cute. And we got to the middle sections. This was basically where they had all their stuff, was like right in the middle towards their decor. Lots of pastel items, plenty of ghosts. They had a few that were holding like some witches, and then skull hands holding it's not really a snow globe, I guess a spooky globe, because it's not snow globe. So as you press the button, the witch one turned green and then kind of looked like it had like glitter dust in it, and then the other one was purple or black, or I think it was blue actually, that did that stuff too, which was really cool. And then they had a dancing skeleton in a mirror. They had a TV, but this TV didn't work. They had a barking dog, but that one didn't bark at me, it barked at somebody else. And they had cute little gingerbread type houses that were ghosts that were pastel as well that I saw, and they had a big skeleton head and whatnot. And then they had some cute pillows. There was one that they're doing like this summerween type thing, and he was holding a floaty, which I thought was super, super cute. So.
Okay, bro. Like, enough is enough. Pretty cool. You scared us. I'm so scared. Oh, look at this.
That's all that we saw at TJ Maxx. I'm sure I'm missing some stuff, so whatever I'm missing, I'll share in the video. But they didn't have a whole lot. They had some dish towels. Yep, we saw some dish towels and some spooky mugs. And then I saw one table runner. I think that was about it. So it was very quick. Anyway, it is extremely hot. I'm going to go ahead and end this vlog here. So I hope you guys enjoyed going to Michael's, Home Goods, At Home, and TJ Maxx with me. And just stay tuned for the rest of the season. It's still early July, like mid-July. So we're going to be seeing plenty more. But I enjoyed going shopping with you guys. I hope you enjoyed this first vlog. Let me know what other things you would like to see. Let me know if you liked this vlog. If so, give it a thumbs up. Leave a comment down below. Some of the items that you saw that you liked and maybe want to get your hands on. And I will see you next time.